To access your settings in Gmail, you will need to click on the Settings cog at the top of your Gmail page. Notice that it first takes you to Quick Settings. If you're interested in learning about the Quick Settings, make sure you check out our video on that. Otherwise, to get to your more detailed Gmail settings, you need to select the See All Settings button. In this video, we will not discuss every single setting available to you, but we will discuss some of the ones that offer features in Gmail that you may be interested in utilizing. So let's start in this general section. So the first setting that I want to point out is the maximum page size. So it usually defaults to 50. So that means that it's going to show you 50 emails per page. So keep in mind that you have the ability to change that if you'd like to. Just know that depending on your internet connectivity, the higher that you go with the number of emails you see per page may affect your Gmail loading time. So next, let's check out this undo send option. So right now my send cancellation period is set for 5 seconds. So what that means is I would have 5 seconds after sending an email to undo that send. So let's check that out. So I'm going to go over to a new tab where I've already started composing an email. And I'm going to go ahead and click send to that email. So notice down here at the bottom left, it says sending. And then I have this message sent undo option. So after the 5 seconds, notice that that undo option did go away. So since I had it set for 5 seconds in my settings, I no longer have the option to undo that message. So keep in mind that you might need to adjust the number of seconds that you'd like to have available to you to unsend an email. Next, let's look at the default reply behavior. You're going to want to make sure that that is set to reply so that you're replying to just the sender and not replying to all people included in an email. If you did need the option to reply all in an email, then you still have that option. The Send and Archive feature is pretty cool because it can help you organize your inbox. So I have my Show Send and Archive button in reply. So I'm going to go ahead and reply to that email that I sent a moment ago. So I'm going to click on the email and click on reply. And notice that I have 2 send buttons. So this gray send button is just a regular send. But since I have on the feature to send an archive, then that gives me this blue send button that says send an archive. So if I send this email using the send an archive button, it's going to take that email out of my inbox and it's going to put it in this section under more called all mail. So notice that that response is right here. So that's just a great way that you can keep your inbox a little bit more clean and manageable. If somebody were to reply back to this email, then it would still show up in my inbox so that I'm able to find that easily. So going back to our settings, you do see your default text style. So you have font options, size options, and color options. And I want to talk about this dynamic email. So if you have on the dynamic email, then that allows you to do things within your email, such as accept calendar invitations, comment on a Google Doc, and things like that straight from your email without having to go to those other sites. So I do love the ease in that feature. Scrolling down just a little bit to the Smart Compose, if you have on the writing suggestions, then when you're writing a message, Gmail will give you suggestions as to what it thinks you might want to type. If you like the suggestions that it's offering you, you simply hit Tab. If you don't like the suggestion, you just keep on typing. So let's take a look at that in action. So I'm going to go ahead and compose an email. I'm going to pop that out so it's just a little bit bigger for you to see. So here's my first suggestion. So it says, I hope you are doing well. If I want to keep that suggestion, I'm going to hit tab. If I didn't want to keep that suggestion, I would just simply keep on typing. So going back to our settings, we also have the Smart Compose personalization. So if you have the personalization turned on, then what that does is it allows Gmail to start learning your own writing style. Gmail will take a look at ways that you've written and replied to other emails, and it will start to suggest those as a part of your Smart Compose. Okay, looking at nudges. So on nudges, what Gmail will do if you toggle those on is Gmail will give you a suggestion of emails that either you should reply to or that you might need to follow up on. So it may move those emails back to your inbox as a nudge reminder so that you can reply to somebody or follow up on them in case you might have forgotten. So you're going to see this smart reply option, which allows you to show suggested replies when available. So again, if I open up an email, then here at the bottom, you'll see some options that Gmail thinks may be appropriate for me to click and send to. So if I wanted to reply with this thank you, then it would pre-populate that in an email so that I could continue that email or click send from there. So looking at your button labels, so again, if I'm in this email right now, you can see that I have these set as text button labels. And so it actually defaults to the icons. And so here's a quick look at what it looks like for text, but archive says archive, spam says spam, delete says delete, and so on. But if you wanted it to stay with icons, I'm going to save that so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to do a quick refresh here. And now I have the icons at the top instead of the text labels. So again, that's going to be a personal preference and you're going to find what works best for you. So looking back at our settings, another thing I'd like to take a quick note of is the vacation responder. So the vacation responder is similar to Outlook's out of office email. So if a contact sends you an email while you have this vacation responder on, then it will respond to that sender with your predetermined email right there. And you can set the first date and the last date that that is turned on. So an important thing to know that whenever you make changes in your settings that you do need to come down and click that Save Changes option for that to go live in your Gmail. And if you already have a Gmail tab open, you would need to either close it out and reopen it or just refresh your page as you saw a moment ago, and then that will make those changes active in that tab as well. So this whole time we've been discussing the general settings in Gmail, but I do want to show you a few more settings areas that are important to take into consideration. Going back up to the top of your settings area, let's take a look at the inbox settings. These settings are there to help you with the view of your inbox. So first, let's check out the inbox type. The inbox type is going to default to defaults, where emails come in time order received. But you have the option to change that to where you see important emails first, unread messages first, starred emails first, and more. Next, let's talk about categories. As you can see, right now I do have my categories turned on. If you have categories turned on, it will sort your emails into different tabs such as social, promotions, updates, and forums. Your primary inbox would be the inbox that's used for person-to-person emails that don't appear in the other tabs. Let's take a look to see what that looks like. You'll see that right now I'm in my primary tab, and these are the person-to-person conversations and messages that don't appear in the other tabs. But I do have the social tab, the promotions tab, the updates tab, and the forums tab. If you prefer to just check your inbox and not have emails sorted into the categories, then I would recommend turning your categories off. Next, you have your reading pane. If you have enabled your reading pane, then that does give a way to preview your message right next to your list of conversations, which can help you see those emails in a quicker, more efficient manner. If you do enable your reading pane, then you can decide where you want your reading pane to be positioned. Your first choice is to have it not split at all. And so what that would do is it would allow you to have your email, your subject line, and then your preview all within your inbox area. If you choose the right of inbox, then you'll see that your email conversations are all listed on the left-hand side, and then your preview is on the right-hand side. If you choose below inbox, then you'll have your conversations up at the top, and then your preview of that email will be down below your inbox. So again, something to take into consideration on what suits your preferences the best. You may also be wondering what the yellow flag markers are next to your email messages. Those are called markers, and they mean the email has been marked as an important message. In the importance marker section of your inbox settings, you have the ability to show those markers or to choose no markers. So what will happen if you do have the show markers turned on, then you will also have the option to choose whether or not you want Gmail to predict which messages are important to you, or if you do not want them to have the ability to do that. Again, with all of your settings, make sure that you do select Save Changes so that you can activate those changes. Hopefully this helps you understand your general settings in Gmail. If you have any questions, please reach out to a digital learning specialist and we would be happy to help you.